obviously done its best to provide stimulus to the majority of African countries. We just in the last quarter provided over $3 billion in crisis relief facility stimulus packages. But the money is going to be hard to find, and that will make the recovery that much harder. So many of the multilaterals will be looking to opportunities to raise resources through a variety of mechanisms, from asking their shareholders for additional callable capital, from COVID bonds and the like, but it will be quite a challenge.
What has the response been from businesses to that crisis borrowing facility? Briefly, if you could.
Well, it is obviously helping, because the crisis relief facility intended to help the private sector find the means and the resources to be able to pay its own debt to commercial banks. But the bigger challenge, obviously, has been the governments themselves and their ability to service their debt, given the drying up of foreign exchange from a variety of reasons, all impacted by COVID-19.
All right, a difficult outlook there for Africa in the third quarter. Khalid Sharif with the African Development Bank as it begins its annual meetings. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Over to Europe now. Is the German economic recovery speeding up? Well, it's a good sign. German businesses are more optimistic. That's at least according to a new survey by the Munich-based IFO Institute for Economic Research. The survey offers a positive outlook for Europe's largest economy, which suffered a record 9.7% contraction in the second quarter as private consumption, investment, and exports all collapsed at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. IFO Institute President Clemens Fuest told us that the biggest threat to business confidence would be another nationwide lockdown.
As long as we can respond to outbreaks, to regional outbreaks with regional measures, I think we are okay. What we should try to avoid is a general lockdown that would have severe consequences. It would also have an impact on the general mood of consumers and trust of investors. So that would be really bad. If that happened, the recession would be much worse than we think it has to be now.
All right, another factor for German economy, of course, trade talks. The U.S. and China have resumed trade talks a day after President Trump suggested breaking off economic relations with the Chinese. Now, following a phone call between the White House and Beijing, both sides said that they were seeing progress despite the tensions. The U.S. and China say they plan to stick to their preliminary trading agreement reached in January in an attempt to end their trade war. And now to some of the other global business stories making headlines. German carmaker Daimler is to expand the ride-hailing service Star Rides, its joint venture with Chinese company Geely Technology Services. Chengdu will be the third Chinese city where the service operates. The launch with a fleet of 100 luxury vehicles, increasing to 200 by year's end. Qantas is cutting a further 2,500 jobs on top of the 6,000 it's already announced. Australia's flag carrier just posted a huge financial loss. 200 of its planes are grounded, and it doesn't expect to resume international flights until mid-2021. Meanwhile, Delta Airlines says it is planning to furlough nearly 2,000 pilots in October. Global fast food chain KFC is setting aside its finger-licking good slogan for the time being due to coronavirus hygiene requirements. However, social media users have pointed out that the change is meaningless since consumers already eat the product with their fingers.
Election 2020, Ghana makes a choice. Tracking and bringing you reports of the presidential and parliamentary campaigns across the length and breadth of this nation.
Analyzing campaign activities and election data with our panelists on the Voters' Diary.
The Voters' Diary is the most factual, instructive, and balanced election 2020 analysis program on television.
The Voters' Diary every weekday on City TV from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Stay informed on all the relevant issues on, Election 2020.
Tune into the Voters Diary, it's Ghana's choice.
Hello and welcome to the City Newsroom on City TV. We are also live on DSTV channel 363. My name is Frima Edunyame.
And I am Bobie Osei. Coming up.
2 men believed to be soldiers in critical condition following an attack on them by some youth of Domifasi in the Greater Accra region.
So if you have anything, exercise patient, lead us to the chief or wherever you lead us, then you continue. But they met us on the way and started beating us. Me, as you are beating me, I've not done anything wrong.
President justifies cleanup of the financial sector.
The strong leadership that the central bank under your management has also provided has been a key factor in that development.
Now also coming up, as the discussion on whether or not to legalize the Okada business intensifies, some stakeholders call for a formalized union for Okada riders to monitor the adherence to road regulations.
It's very, 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 very important, 100%, because the Okada people know, the Okada business know,
so far, all the shops that we visited, none of them have complied.
And later on, Committee on Foreigners in Retail Trade lock up shops belonging to foreigners engaging in retail trade at the Swami Magazine industrial area.
So far, all the shops that we visited, none of them have complied. None. It remains as
Now, in our first story, they are often noted for disregarding road traffic regulations, though the commercial use of motorcycles has become a major part of Ghana's transportation system. This concern has retarded the legalization process of the service.
However, the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, has promised to legalize the activities if re-elected.
City News' Beverly London interacted with riders of this transport system on this development and has come through with his reports.
You might have employed their services to escape the rush hour traffic or to attend to an emergency. Though the commercial use of motorcycles, popularly known as Okada, is illegal, many youth engaged in this business say it's their only source of income. In the northern part of the country, the use of motorcycles serve as the major mode of transport for residents, both commercially and non-commercially. Following the pledge by John Mahama to legalize this means of transport, Okada riders have welcomed the promise.
What I thought about it is very nice, because we, the young group, we don't have anything to do right now. There's no work for us to do. So because of that, we are here doing this small to chop. So I'm very grateful for that. If he come and he can legalize it, we will be happy for that.
We are saying what's here. I know be here now about because the government gima. Bebre ya school wa bebre omoni gima ye that is it no ye we no anya te se bia ye pen na ye what does the gima ni ho Unim de way, Meme Sia me a plumber. A human being. Colao. Yet you dance here. Light bay, house one. Unim de way, oh, Colaba Hospital, BBC. Me o class here, me him cry, about hospital. May no place. On your way,
it's very, 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 very important, 100%, because the Okada people know, the Okada business know, abua amount for bebre, even me myself, abua me bebre.
Me like this, I'm a graduate, but I don't have any job to do. So is this one that I'm managing inside? So I will be happy if only they legalize the job for us to do.
Statistics from the Motor Traffic and Transport Directorate of the Ghana Police Service between January and June 2020 show that 40% of deaths recorded as a result of road crashes caused by motorcycles. These fatalities in some cases have been attributed to the disregard for road traffic regulations. Motorcycle riders have, however, assured that they would adhere to regulations that would accompany the legalization of their businesses.
In fact, for the traffic regulation, many of the Okada guys has been doing that, because they will go if you reach a traffic light and the traffic is red, they will just struggle maneuver to cross, but which is not good. That is what is causing accidents against the Okada guys. So that one here, they find solution for that, so that the police people will make sure that they will do their duty against that people who do that.
I know because someone say trotro or taxi or private or I know you know. Kada sisi obi a beso bia ni akomdi no aba wanye kada bia o yusua ye obi a obege kakara bia de. But sad man ba ye be hu ni ma ye be ye ni ma ye. Oh, left ni right ni straight ni oh.
And you say you do rules no so. Oh, madam, I say you do pa, but red light be so, who be jina, who are lances, who are road work, insurance, who wants say police. Watch him for what reason? Say, yeah, papa, John Mama ba. Na so be Gazi Okada noa. Rules need a bedisu. Traffic so red, yebejina. The reason why traffic so red, yenjani na amaka about said the police before catch now, I bet you know, and nothing a yenjina traffic light. Because me jinana police in bet me on Jimmy 1 million. Me jina wiemu sa wabe tum se me jina wiemu. Good. Now police watch no bet you 1 million within just a second.
But what should constitute the decision-making process? The director of the Center for Urban Studies at the University of Ghana, Professor Martin Oting Abibio, says governments must address the architecture of roads to allow for appropriate regulation.
If government wants to legalize this, it should not be in an ad hoc manner. There's the need for a well-planned system to understand why Okada is existing and put in place a team that can understand the architecture of our road networks, understand the dynamics in the Okada industry, and plan to respond to that. If it becomes an ad hoc, then we'll get back to the same story. Once it is well planned, I think that people have done it, and we can also do it.
He further suggested that Okada riders should be positioned under a formalized union to monitor their adherence to road regulations.
Yes, Okada has come to stay. If that is the case, then let's put in the appropriate legislation and regulate them. And that is my point. We can even train them and put them into some level of cooperative and allow their cooperative to monitor them. And that will work.
Persons who usually engage the services of Okada riders are urging security agencies to ensure strict enforcement of the law should the business be legalized.
When it's being legalized, there should be sanctions, to punish them. In case, anytime they disobey the traffic, they should be punished. I think with that it will serve as deterrence to others, so they will obey the routes or something like that.
They are arrested but they still do the same.
So they should keep on arresting them, and because if they arrest them, they don't allow them go scot-free. You pay. So if they are willing to keep on paying, they should also keep on doing the bad thing and they will keep on being arrested.
Like it or not, the youth need work. They definitely have to be in business. But if you look at what is happening today, it's an eyesore. They cross when it is red, endangering everybody, including themselves. And when they're involved in an accident, it's very terrible. So if there's going to be a legalization, regularization, or whatever, they give them training and make sure the law takes its place.
And that is what the officials and the authorities must take care of. They must be able to take care of that one, so that they educate the people to take concern about the necessary security, the gadgets, so that they obey the regulations. It's very important. And when it is regulated that way, I think they will obey. And if you don't obey, it is your own problem.
Commercial motorcycle riders have assured that they would adhere to traffic regulations should their businesses be legalized. Reporting for City News, Beverly Langdon.
2 individuals alleged to be militarymen are in critical condition, while some civilians have sustained injuries after some youth of Domifasi near Obom Domiabra in the Greater Accra region attacked the military over land ownership issues. There is more in this report.
My major concern is that the people didn't ask anything. The leader didn't ask a person to find out, what am I doing? Am I a criminal or what? I came here by my own. They didn't ask. What they do is that they just keep on beating me. Meanwhile, the leader came there and we informed him that we are not criminals. We didn't come there illegal. So if you have anything, exercise patient, lead us to the chief or wherever you lead us, then you continue. But they met us on the way and started beating us. Me, as you are beating me, I've not done anything wrong.
According to the Coalition of Greater Accra Communities, which comprises over 20 communities which share borders with the Eastern region, the Imponuahene of Achim Apidra and the Achim Traditional Council are taking their farmlands from them, hence the resistance that led to the violence that happened on Tuesday. Speaking to City News at a press conference, Divisional Chief of Obom Traditional Council, Nick Bakpo Amati, blamed the Ghana Armed Forces for getting involved in chieftaincy issues.
The actions of these, the following: the Achim Traditional Council, the Ghana Armed Forces and the military personnel that have been assigned to protect the Bafwa Okumakuma in perpetrating these unlawful actions. The Inspector General of Police